The monthly tournament is the absolutely highest level of competition that we see in Guild Wars 2. Once a month, all the top teams gather to battle for thousands of gold and a statue of their character in Heart of the Mists. In this video, I'll be going over the strategies, compositions, and yes, even the builds of all of the top teams on the NA server. In the NA finals, we saw Team USA on blue face off against Grimjack, Mark, Anya, Jaden, and Ma on red team. I don't know if they have a team name, so just for the sake of brevity, I'm going to call them Grimjack's team. Now you'll notice that the blue team, Team USA, used a Spear Hybrid Herald, a Spear Heal Chrono, a Spear Willbender, a Spear Power Harbinger, and last but not least, a Staff Heal Tempest. On the other side, Team Red, the only difference is that instead of a Tempest, they ran a Support Guardian. So it seems like the meta could possibly be to run two supports right now. That's at least what most of the teams that did well on the NA server did. And the king of that role of support is unquestionably the Support Chrono. Every team runs one. The offensive boons, the cleanse, the healing, the damage mitigation, on top of being able to do a little bit of damage yourself. It's just too good for teams to pass up. The build should be showing on the screen sometime soon here about what most players were using. And it looks like for your secondary support slot, you can either take a Core Support Guardian, which is really good against Condis because it's going to be converting those conditions into boons, or you can take a Support Tempest, which is quite strong against power. It can really negate a lot of power damage with things like Mag Aura, Shocking Aura, things of that nature. It does a lot of healing, range healing. It's really good. So your kind of pick, the team that ended up winning, spoiler alert, did use Tempest, but I think that it's pretty close between the two for that secondary support role. Once you've got your support all set up, then you can start picking out your damage, and both teams used a willbender, and both used the exact same willbender build, which will be shown here. The willbender is kind of almost taking the role of a thief nowadays, where he's able to run around, decap, be very quick, but also do a lot of damage. So it's a very good pick for sure. And our second DPS is going to be the Demolisher Harbinger. This build can do a little bit of everything. It's very tanky, does a lot of damage, boon corrupt, good mobility, great build, AoE, CC. Just, if you're not taking a Harbinger, you are missing out. So here's the build for that. And finally on the side nodes, we've got the Hybrid Herald. This is an interesting build. Spear and then the Mace Shield. It takes Retribution for lots of might. There's a little bit of power damage and a heck of a lot of Connie damage. Very survivable. It does really well on duelist side nodes, but it can also come and help in the team fight. So very good build. Zephyrite Relic actually was the winner. So interesting build, and there it is on screen for you guys to try. So that is kind of the meta composition for the end of 2024. Support Chrono is the king with either Support Guard or Support Tempest to help it out. Willbender for Roamer DPS, Harbinger for sort of a Bruiser DPS, and last but not least that Condi Hybrid Herald for that side node that can help in those team fights. Now obviously things other than these 6 classes can work, but this is what the top teams on the NA server were using for the monthly tournament in November. Now last month was an absolute nail-biter. It was down to the last possible second, and Grim's team ended up taking the win from Team USA. So everyone was kind of interested for a good game on the NA monthly. So let's see what happens at the start here is both Harbs go to cap their home nodes, and everybody else goes for a big team fight on beach. I thought that was interesting. Send the Harbs to cap home instead of the Heralds, but that's what both teams did. They're in agreement on that is the best thing to do, so I listen. So anyways, okay, so big team fight on the beach. And as you can see, the Team USA guys attack the mine node. They attack the floor, and actually what ends up happening is Team USA loses the mid-fight on beach, but they are winning the little temple node, and they're winning at the mine node. So really, they ended up winning the map because they've got control over 2 nodes and just not mid. So eventually, actually what happens is they gain control of mid as well here. And basically, at that point, the deficit kind of grew very large, and Grim's team kind of had trouble to bring that one back, and Team USA ended up taking the dub and getting the Laurel Gizmo again. So now you officially have all the tools that you need to play like the pros. Now, I'm not saying you need to play a meta monthly build in your ranked games, but if you are looking to get some friends together, play some tournaments, and you're wondering what are the pros using right now, well, there you go. Now you know. I think it's an interesting meta. I like that there is no class stacking right now. There's no, you know, like 3 warriors. There's no 3 chronos. I don't like when everybody just stacks on one build, so that's pretty good. Obviously, what works best in a monthly tournament is not necessarily what's going to work best in ranked games, so feel free to, you know, make some modifications or whatever to some of the builds. I may have also got some of the small things like sigils or maybe like a trait or 2 wrong here and there, but I did my very best to get you as closely and as accurately to the builds that all the pros were using as I possibly could. So, and if you want me to keep doing these, let me know. I can definitely keep tabs on the monthly and keep doing these for you guys. So that's all for me for this week. I hope you guys have a great week. Here's a controversial statement for engagement. Warrior Spear deserved to be nerfed. With that, I will argue with you guys in the comments over it, and I will see you guys next week for another video. Thanks very much, and bye.